Yo, what's going down, Commanders? There's a few things I want to pull up on here. I've got the timestamps written down. Basically, I made this video last night, and I was drunk as shit, and all I was doing was fucking cussing them out every 5 minutes. It was a bit pointless. There's no diagnosis of the fucking video when I'm pissed at my brain and I'm fucking just wanting to slag them off. So basically, I want to deconstruct it a little bit, as with the timestamps that I've got 3 written down here, or 2 at least, that I want to go through and maybe discuss, and then get the discussion going on about these certain things. So the first part I'm going to let play, and then I'll pause it as I feel I need to.
Back bases, and it really does shift things. What we are going to be doing this time to somewhat balance that out is introducing a new building.
I'm not sure what part of the design they come up with this. I'll let him finish.
The Tactical Ops Center, the TAC Ops Center, and it will increase the damage output and decrease the damage taken of units attacking other players' bases. Okay. So not only will it be, not only will the CC have defensive things, which we'll discuss later, it'll also help players when they're attacking other players' bases. Right,
so they've managed to bottle up and sell us a building that helps with attacking in PvP. I'm not sure if it's PvP or completely across the board. My argument is we've got something that didn't need a building already. Basically, we've got the raids where you can get 20% or 25% buffs to attacking and defending, as well as a 20 or 25% buff more to farming rezo. Why didn't they revisit the raids and change them buffs slightly, rather than make it a new building where they're going to sell us more levels to it? This is the hardest thing, is they've literally worked out if they can sell us a building that will help with PvP and attacking. And then you'll see later on in this video that then they destroy that with what they're putting into the game. So let him finish talking about this.
So it'll buff you, and it will debuff them.
It won't debuff them. It will in a way. So how it'll work is, let's say you bring in 10 units into another player's base. Those 10 units will do more damage and take less damage.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I love how in the office we call it TAC Ops for short.
And here's the filler. I'm not even going to listen to that. He calls it tacos. Taco shop or something. And I'm not gonna pander to that bullshit. The concept's good. I think it doesn't need to be a building. It doesn't make sense to be a building. It could have been done with what we've already got in the game. It didn't need to be resold to us, bottled up and resold to us as a different brand of shit. But this is Kixeye. They are out in the business to make money, so I get that. I understand it. I've got a feeling it's going to be manipulated in some way or another. Like a lot of things that are coming with the CC19, there's a lot that I can see problems with down the road. So moving forward to the next part is 6 minutes 20, and this one's quite long. I'm going to let him talk, and then I think this goes on for about 10 minutes. Yeah. Oh.
For you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Back when I was a junior associate designer.
I already know where you're going, and I love this. All right.
Back when I was a junior associate designer, and I hadn't proven to everyone any of my abilities yet, we released Dragon's Teeth and Low Wire Entanglements, and I thought that was fantastic.
Horrible part of the game. I wish I could get rid of them out of my base.
Like, it was a way for vehicles and infantry to be slowed down in a base. But around that same time, we had a major issue, and that was legendary raptors were so fast that a lot of projectiles could not hit them, meaning they were essentially invincible.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, why don't we have something for air that can do that? And so I thought about it for a while, then I pitched it to my game design lead at the time, I said, why don't we introduce like air mines?
On paper, air mines sound like a fantastic idea, but I just can't. Basically, excuse me, guys. Basically, Kixeye are going to take away 50% of the game from us again. They're going to make air worthless, like what they did with the Screamer back in the day. It's another way for them to kill the air off quicker because they don't want people air flatting a base. They want people using 5 platoons plus air plus all their mercenaries.
Mines like deep sea depth charges, but they're in the air. They're floating.
They're in the air. Yeah.
And when you can place them wherever you want to, and it'll be an area denial thing when players release their legendary raptors.
Even he can't keep a straight face over this. Even what's his name, Young Russell. Even he's laughing about this. He knows it's not a good idea. I know a lot of people are going to start screaming and going, yes, that's what we've been asking. It's not in, if you listen to how he puts it out there, it's not in the sense that how we thought, I don't think.
We'll go through and hit them and be slowed down or destroyed. He was very receptive to it. Okay, that's not true. He laughed in my face and told me that it was a dumb idea.
This has been kind of an inside joke.
That tells you everything you need to know. The lead designer at the time literally laughed in his face and said no, because he knows how unbalanced it's going to make the game. Everyone's going to be screaming about this, going, yes, great, excellent. But when Kixeye start using it in their bases against us, nullifying our air, then you're going to have a problem.
For quite a long time amongst the team, of like, whenever we talk about new features in the games, we always kind of throw out there like, well, we could always do air mines. It's always kind of
while everyone else has been joking about adding air mines, I've been deadly serious about adding air mines to the game. And now that I'm design lead, I finally have the ability to add them. So I'm taking my opportunity, and if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to add these air mines to the game.
You got some power. You give him an inch, and he thinks he's a ruler.
That's it.
No, but honestly, this is a good idea, though, because one of the pain points in PvP is sometimes people just get rushed by all these raptors and...
I'm afraid that's how they design the raptors. It's what they designed, what that Kixeye put into the game, and now they've got a problem with them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not good at using the raptors, but I've seen players that hit my base that are fucking fantastic with the raptors. And that it takes a skill level to be able to target certain buildings and certain things in a certain way with raptors that a lot of players just haven't got. And I don't see a problem. I really don't see a problem. All that's going to happen is one raptor's going to go in to start with to find or kill the air mine building, and then it's going to be back to square one where they're raptor spamming us. I don't like it. I just not the way it's been put forward. And
all these vehicles will get kind of spammed in a base really quick, and people don't have defenses against them. And this is a way to defend against them. So this gives people a bit more of a fighting chance against some of those hit and run tactics that are harder to really form a strong defense against.
Exactly. So the way it'll work, it'll behave differently than the historic ground mines that you've placed. This will be more of a building.
Another fucking building. Just make fucking half a dozen of our mines be floating. Basically we've got to put the building there, and then the building spawns the mine. So if they kill the building, the mine no longer spawns. How far out the bottom has the mine building got to go so it's effective?
Akin to a drone silo that you'll place on the ground, and then when the battle starts, there will be an interval timer, and after that interval timer goes, let's say it's 5 seconds, the air mine, let's call it, will spawn above the building, and then when a unit gets close enough to it, the air mine will target it and rush towards it and explode, acting almost like an airborne detonator. And so you can place that building wherever you want to, and then it'll keep on replenishing air mines after each one dies. So you won't have like a whole bunch spawned at once, but once the first one gets destroyed, and assuming the timer's already happened, the next one will spawn. So there will be a somewhat continuous supply until that building is destroyed.
So you'll want to target that building to take it out before you can use strategies like raptors and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I think it's one of those things too where it has. I think too, it was kind of originally a joke, and then people kind of been like, yeah, but air mines though, and then we started like kind of.
We did. As players, I'm 90% sure I've asked for why can't they do an air mine, but I never envisioned it having to be a building that would spawn these mines. I envisioned that it would be so many of our original mines that we could actually place and have them be used as mines, not a building.
Kind of thinking about
first they laugh at you, then
yeah, and it was kind of one of those things, and I think there were some technical issues at first with it, and then because when we actually did start taking you seriously and we're looking into it, we're like, yeah, this could be a thing, but then there were some technical issues, and it did take some time to figure it out, but now that it's actually been figured out and we can actually do it, yeah, it's an actual reality. But this has been like a thing that. It's been like 3 years or something like that.
Yes,
that has been a thing that's been on your mind. So, also, just bravo to your commitment on this one.
I'm letting this run because it's just run straight into the next part, which is the bastions, and both bastions I can see an issue with. So I'm going to let this run and let him discuss it. I'm going to leave this link in the section below, guys. Please go watch it so you can formulate your own opinion.
One.
Absolutely.
Like most people don't even stick to a diet for 3 weeks, and you have stuck to this idea for 3 years. So that's very impressive.
Yes, I've been testing out various iterations of air mines for the last probably year and a half, and so it's great to see that we've struck on one that feels good, makes sense for the game, and I think looks pretty cool too.
And it's not overpowered, so it's not like ground mines where you can put like a dozen of them out there. Yeah. Like, this is a one at a time thing where, it does have to still be within range.
It makes no sense. A building that spawns mines. It literally makes no sense, and I'm trying to work it out in my head, and they've got a better understanding of it. But to me, Mines are a one-use thing, so if you're in battle and they destroy your mine's destroyed. They can then roll over them, without no repercussions. This is a constantly spawning air mine building.
A limitation to it. There's a way that players can strategize around it by taking out a building. There's some thought to it, so it's not a little overpowered or anything.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it'll be a good strategic item, and it's not going to totally shift the balance of anything.
Okay. Now, there's one thing, and I might be jumping the gun on this one, but there's 2 new bastions that are coming out.
Here we go.
That I think are really cool. If you want to talk about those.
Yeah, so we've made changes to some of our bastions in the past. I think last time we introduced the ability for the missile defense bastion to also stop mercenaries from deploying. Mm-hmm. But we haven't added in a new bastion in a while. And so we decided that we wanted to add some more of those because I think that they offer a really cool gameplay opportunity. So we're adding 2. The first one is, right now its working title is Medical Bastion. Mm-hmm. That might change, but essentially how it works is...
I'll bite my tongue, so I'll just try not to say nothing. I'll let him discuss it, and then I'll put my 52 cents in.
Same way that some of our previous healing units works, where it'll have an aura around it of a certain size, and every X number of seconds, it'll heal allied units for a certain amount of health in a pulse sort of thing. So, any units that are nearby it will have their health somewhat restored during a battle, and so it'll give you a bit more time for some of your units to stay alive for while they're defending your...
a lot of holding bases is going to happen with this Bastion. Hold my base for 10 minutes so I can repair. Hold my base. Hold my base. Hold my base. Just put a raptor in. There's nothing there that's going to kill it. Hold my base. I need to repair my turns. That's the problem I can see with this one, is that it's going to end up being abused. And everyone's going to go, wow, why did you say that, Siddy? Why have you told them about it? At the end of the day, the game's supposed to be open. It's supposed to be a war game. And I hope we can abuse it like that, where we can just hold each other's base for so long and we can get our units repaired up a little, well, maybe 95% of the way, and then it leaves just 10% to do with time. I hope Kixeye do it like that. And I hope we can hold each other's bases and repair up that way, because it makes the game a little bit more cheaper towards the players without that cost of base defense units taken out of the equation. It's good, but this also goes against what they said at the start of the video, and I'm going to let him talk about the next Bastion, because that's the really important one, that destroys this buff they're going to give us with this building.
Your base.
Now, I know this question will be asked of me in Discord and forums, but will that include buildings, or is it just going to be units?
It'll just heal units.
Okay.
It won't have any effect on buildings yet.
And okay, all right, cool. So the units that are around it will get a nice little refreshing, little mist. Is it like a little?
Yeah,
little
let's say it's like a little spritzer. Yeah,
yeah, a little spritz.
Yeah. It's an Aperol spritz.
All right, yeah. That's good. All right.
And so that one's very exciting because we I think we introduced healing mechanics back with Logan, I think.
Yep.
And then we introduced them as well with the
healing mechanics was in the game with the medic, if I remember right, when it very first came out, or at least a year or two into the game. So it's nothing new.
buckler.
And the little robot dogs that everybody wants a robot dog now.
Yep, exactly.
I don't. I've never asked for a robot dog.
Exactly. So we have it with that as well, and so I really wanted to find other ways to use it, because I had mentioned in a previous podcast that we were wanting to find more ways to use that healing functionality in a way that wouldn't just make the game unplayable for some players. And
if anything, they made it more playable, because you can go out, get slammed in your base, then get your pals to hold you for a little while so you can get them units repairing. If you don't get fully destroyed, that is. I think it might have made the game more playable, this Bastion.
I think this is a great way to do it, because it'll help your defense, and if you're purposefully playing like on Invasion or something like that, you can choose which guys are near the Bastion. So I'm very excited for it. Awesome.
And then the other Bastion.
Yeah, the other one's a bit more complicated, but I think it is a thing that makes a lot of sense for our game. It
doesn't.
Called the Tactical Backup Bastion. You can think of it as
a spawning building.
A giant alarm bell.
Okay.
So essentially how it works is if this bastion does not get destroyed within X number of seconds, so let's say it survives for 30 seconds or more, it will send out an alarm and it'll spawn in a preset platoon of units to help you defend your base.
Okay.
So let's say
it's a spawning building. They're going to give us another spawning building, same as what we've got with the hangar. Not the hangar. Hang on, I've got the game open. It's going to act the same as an airfield, war factory, and the barracks. So it's a fourth spawning building, but it's a timed one. So you've got to have it in your base. If it drops out, you don't no longer get it, basically. Let me just close this down. It completely.
You are allied with the Sentinels, and you have this bastion in your base. Someone attacks you, and they don't destroy this bastion for X number of seconds. Somewhere around the outskirts of your base, a small contingent of Sentinels units will come and help you defend that base.
Awesome. That's kind of cool. And this will be
It's not. I don't get how he thinks that's cool. Kind of cool. What they've gone right. Okay, we know when you get a CC, the bases are very hard. We're giving you a building to buff against the damage taken and the damage given that you would get your units while attacking. And then they go and throw in a fucking repair fucking bastion. They're not only just they're satisfied with the repair bastion that's going to be abused, by the way. They're also going to throw in a bastion that gives you another lot of spawning units into your base. So basically, that building that we're going to have to upgrade is a buff against them two bastions. It might negate them. It makes no sense. They've gone right. We understand that it gets too hard when CC19, 18 drops, whatever they're doing. We're giving you this brand new building, and then on top of that, they're giving us two new bastions that fucking destroy that buff. Completely fucking destroy it. How does that make sense? I can't. I wish I could find the words to describe the way I'm thinking about it. It's just, it doesn't make sense. That's not without the new CC turrets and the new levels on platforms, the possibility of new levels on your bunkers and towers, strongholds and that. That's without them. They've already fucking thrown two massively overpowered fucking bastions in there that will give the defender once again the upper hand. You know, they're so worried about raptor spams. They're also giving us a fucking air mine, or a building that spawns air mine, or multiple buildings that spawn air mines. Everything they've done counteracts that one fucking building that we're now going to upgrade for, just to counter them 2-3 new things. A bastion that spawns fucking units. We didn't need no more spawning units in our base. We really didn't. And all I'm going to do with the bastion that repairs units is fucking abuse it. I think this is about as far as I want to go with this, guys. I don't want to, because I can feel myself getting angrier and angrier. For them it's well thought out, but when it comes down to playing it and using it, it doesn't, on paper it just doesn't work for me. And you know, everything is they've given us this brand new building to start with, and then straight away they've gone and fucking nullified that building. It's nerfed before we've even got it, because they're going to throw a load of shit at us. That's all it's going to be. And I guarantee there's going to be new levels on your fucking defence lab, new levels on your go-go bar that will probably give you more of a buff, or I think it gives you a buff in damage to go-go bar. The defence lab probably give you a bit more of a buff in the defensive department. One building, it didn't need to be a building. They could have just revisited the fucking raids and reworked them buffs for the raids, and make sure that they last a reasonably long distance, rather than, you know, 12 hours, made them 24 hours, and made it so you had to use it tactically, where it was the 24 hours, but you couldn't reactivate it for 48, whatever, 72 hours afterwards. So it would be a tactical use for your bastion, whatever. Let me find out what they're called. I'm talking about these, your war efforts. So you would get them for you could call it 12 hours again, but once you've burnt through the 12 hours of each one of these, you've used them up, you wouldn't be able to reuse them for 48, 72, whatever Kixeye decides the time constraint is on that. So you wouldn't have them constantly running, but you would be able to pick your times when all your mates are online. You can go, right, we're going to jump to a sector, put the bastions on, and then once they burn that time out, you'd have to constantly think about when you wanted to put them on and when you could leave them off, rather than make it a tactical choice, rather than a. And this is what they should have revisited. We don't need another building in our base. Another 2 buildings by the sounds of it. In fact, another 4 buildings with the 2 new bastions. These could have been used tactically. They could have put some new fucking diamond tech in there, which we're lacking for some of the older units. Well, mind you, a lot of the older units that haven't got the diamond tech probably don't need them. The only ones would need them is any ones that have got a new hero. So we could chuck it on the heroes. But it's like everything they've put in there is designed to force money. Nothing's been put in the CC as fun times, as you know, and it's a gimmick. Oh, they will update it when. If young Russell leaves the company, I guarantee these air mines will never get touched again. Same as what they've done with the raids, and same as what they've done with these missions. Never touched again, never to be looked at, never to be mentioned. You know, start going back and looking what you have got, rather than what you haven't got. You've got stuff in the game already that we could have used to our advantage. And you would have made us play the game to get them buffs. Instead, they're just going to make it a Bastion, which we're fucking Ruby in there. The Bastion bases anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the discussion or the comments below. And I will try to get back to all of you as I can. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.